Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Pat Hamer, and I live in Grizzly Flats. I'm a victim of the Caldor fire. Behind me, you see the Oakland Bay Bridge. I'm holed up here, 2.5 hours away from my home. Most of my construction home building business has been done on the coast. The last house I built, and I'm kind of semi-retired, but I am being barred from my tools of trade. I haven't been able to work in 3 weeks because I can't get to my house, and they're citing safety issues. Yet, the agricultural department just created an application for wealthy landowners who are members of their group to fill out an application, and they're going to let those guys go into their properties. Well, whereas people who are landowners that aren't wealthy, poor, or middle class, they don't get to go. Now, people are justifying this with whatever means. I've, had people say, "Oh, well, there's public safety. There's dangerous. We can't go up there. They have to clean up." Okay, the fire's 80 miles away. It's been out for 21 days. During the fire, the news reporters, and 50 of the other people were up there with cell phones and uploading YouTube videos while trees were falling down power lines were down. Not one person got hurt. And so the Constitution, the Fifth Amendment, requires that the government give a due process to people in order to deny their property, and a government decree with a decree is not a due process. Civil authority is can make ways for people to access their property rights. For instance, because the civil authority exists, I still have a First Amendment property right to redress my grievance and make public what the abuses that the government's doing without fear of retaliation. And so far, the retaliation is from other victims who think that the government has an authority to take their property. They never read the Constitution. And so, just as my First Amendment right is protected, also is my Fifth Amendment right to my property. Now, they've basically put me out of business for the last 21 days. And I can't get my tools. I can't. I have a YouTube studio there. I also make money on YouTube, and people need to get together and know why it's a civil right violation. I think that's the confusion. People think, they don't have empathy for our concerns as people whose homes survived. Their homes may have burned down. It's unfortunate. We're so sorry, but the insurance company is writing you a check. For instance, if my house burned down, I would have all my tools because they would have wrote me a check. Right now, civil authority is keeping me out, and they don't have a right to keep me out. I don't have a right, and I am not claiming that I have a right to go in freely. They could put aside a committee and let people in that have special needs to get their business tools. I mean, interstate commerce, interference with interstate commerce is a racketeering charge. I mean, when you're interfering with a person's right to work, that's a violation of civil and human rights, regardless of the fire issue. The fire has been out for 80 days. There are videos of people driving up Logan's Grade all the way down Blue Mountains. There is not one power line down. There is not one safety issue that would concern me. And, just living in the forest is dangerous. Trees fall down and kill people all the time. Fires happen. Things are dangerous. But what's also a violation of our rights is the denial of my property and your property. And so we found that the Department of Justice is looking for violations of civil rights and human rights and equal protection clause. So when they let wealthy people go and protect their property, and they're concerned about the property of wealthy people, but if you're not in that category or class, and they deny your rights, the agricultural department has a permit process, which I filled out, and they denied me telling me that I wasn't a member of their little group. And I have a ranch. I have a lake with a fish farm on it. I have fruit trees. I'm certified by the state of California to measure my water rates, flows and inflows, my metering. I don't know if they've been burnt up. I know I've lost my barn, my cabin, and my trailer. All the property that I had put over on all my. Basically, we bought that for a working ranch, and they're saying, okay, ranchers can go out and see. Well, that's even wrong. I shouldn't be able to go out there with that unless you can also go out there and save your business. But they definitely, I found out that the agricultural commissioner actually done this. Charlene Carveth, I think her name is, and then she had one of her cronies, Myrna Toe, send me a email citing chapter 2.21 of an city ordinance, county ordinance, that didn't have anything to do with the agricultural department's right to violate the human rights of others by allowing wealthy people to access and mitigate their losses and damages. So that's an open violation of the 14th Amendment, 5th Amendment property rights, 14th Amendment equal protection right, and First Amendment right to redress grievance. I did not get my grievance redressed. They just basically kicked me to the curb and said, you're not a member, you're out. But I'm a member of the United States of America. I'm a military veteran. Another issue that I'm seeing in El Dorado County that is a violation, they are kicking out victims, fire victims of places they were allowed to stay, roadside camps, whatever, hotels, and asking them to leave for firefighters so that they can stay in places. Well, I'm a military vet, and I don't know one vet that's fought a war that would kick their victims out, where they come in and save the day, like Cal Fire. Kudos to Cal Fire and the Sheriff Department for arresting the looters. But the U.S. Forest Service, you guys get the hell out of California, you Nazis, man. You guys have Tom McClintock, Honorable Congressman Tom McClintock, put up an email on August 6th, 10 days before the fire, claiming that U.S. Forest Service allowed the Tamarack fire and the Dixie fire to get out of control by suppressing the desires and wants of Cal Fire, who were ordered to stand down on fighting those fires. And they did the same thing to this Grizzly Flats fires. The U.S. Forest Service stands up at those meetings every week, and they should be arrested, tarred and feathered. Whatever you can do to criminals, what they did was criminal, if this is true. And I think the facts will come out if there's some transparency. But right now there are people in the community who are supporting, just like the Nazis did when they were removing the Jews. They have a perfect reason. They're safety issues to think of. There's this and that and such, And no, there's a Constitution to think of. And they could form a committee of they have the star groups that can take people street by street, 4 or 5 or 10 at a time, to check out their houses, and they're not doing that. And we are losing our property rights and our right to file insurance claims. Whereas the wealthy people were allowed, they're already getting their money from insurance claims, and these bastards are screwing us. And then there's these people on social media, who I will not mention or name publicly yet, but these people are they have no empathy. They are stabbing the people that have houses that survived in the back by ignoring their problems. And to be without work for 3 weeks, is devastating. And this is a violation of the rights of people in America in an unequal way, especially when they allow wealthy people to go visit their property. And so if you don't know what the issue was, then you do now.